Heyo VOD watchers, editing Aavak here with a quick forward. Well, two technically. First, music. Shadows of Forbidden Gods has a lovely dark ambient soundtrack, but it doesn't always play nicely with audio normalization and can get a little bit sharp for headphone users. During the stream, I had the Bloodborne OST running instead. It's not in the VODs by design, but I've dropped in some royalty-free ambient tracks so it's not total silence for you. If past me comments on the music, that's what I'm referring to. Second, pacing. The first episode is long and heavy on explanations. The game's quite deep, and I wanted to walk new players through what I was doing so the decisions made sense. Later episodes move much faster once the groundwork is set. So if you already know the game, feel free to skip this one, you'll only miss the first few turns. But if you're new or struggled with the learning curve, this might be the perfect place to start. Right, that's enough from me, back to past Aavak. Enjoy. So, we've got a number of gods to play through. She Who Will Feast is not the one I already know what we're gonna play with tonight, but just for the vibes, She Who Will Feast. She Who Will Feast is a god worm, a terrible creature from the black of the void between stars who has lain dormant for millions of years until the stars are ripe for her hatching. The time will come when she will devour the world and journey forth to lay her brood, dooming other worlds to be consumed by her offspring. We had a win with this character. We have also played Ophanim, the Divine Beyond. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, shroud of heaven, for in his blessed presence alone are we able to grasp a glimpse of what divinity is gifted. Divinity is gifted are those who die in his name, sacred his altars, glorious is his sight, which is always upon us. Holy, holy, holy. The last recorded words of Stigmatius Silcor, right before he sacrificed the king of Vallis in his altar. Neither him nor his disciples were ever seen again after this event. But we've also got Iastur, the Laughing King. We'll come back to you because that's the god that we're going to be playing with tonight. Minerva, behold her bloom, recall her name. The fruit you eat eats you the same. Through the branch holds you. Though the branch holds you, you hang. We've also got Mammon, wealth of man, spirit of the mountain. Mammon came into existence when an ancient nation, which fueled its wealth by digging deep into it, the mountain, held a 7-day-long festival to celebrate its prosperity. Unknown to them, the emotions gathered by this festival were the catalyst, the dances and ceremonies working like a ritual, the chants calling to something new. As the festival ended, people looked at their possessions, and where they once found peace in knowing they had enough, they now found pride in having more than others, and pain in knowing others had more than them, consuming them with greed and envy. You've got the cordyceps hive mind, a vast hive mind. Each spore of this fungal entity is linked together into a single consciousness. It exists parasitically, infecting and mutating creatures, taking control of their nervous system and driving them towards its own goals, or paralyzing them for consumption by its enslaved victims. Fungal spores spread by the wind, often from nightmarish fungal stalks growing from former victims' bodies. And the Broken Maker. The creator of all flesh is itself incomplete, a broken deity driven nevertheless to create and sculpt. It crafts bloodlines and civilizations, always working, always perfecting. Its tools are terrifying and nightmarish. It will kill millions to fix one tiny perceived flaw. It will doom an entire world for the chance to bring about a new one. Always it pursues some unknowably alien goal, sculpting humanity into some twisted image with apocalypse as its chisel. And the evil beneath. Beneath the earth, something nightmarish is growing, larger than kingdoms. This vast mass of tentacles insinuates its way through tunnels and caverns, seeking flesh to consume, to grow yet more. And then Death's Game. Fate twists and turns. The future of empires is decided by the smallest of things. That one's kind of a very different sort of playstyle. There are lots of modded gods as well. This game is quite moddable. In fact, I think the Cordyceps god is effectively an example of modding. It is an official one, but it is presented as an example of a modded, or kind of like to teach people modding. god. But we shall be playing with Iastur, the Laughing King. A certain cursed scripture lost to the ages eons ago tells a tale of the Laughing King. Both incredulous occult circles and respected divination schools claim that once every millennia, this same tome resurfaces, driving its readers insane and spreading a terrible darkness across the world. Readers of the Laughing King know the truth of this world, the worlds to come, and the worlds that preceded this one. Okay, let's have a quick catch up in chat. I still haven't had the chance of the Laughing God. Seems like fun. Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be fun. Did you do a YouTube video about this game? I have put a couple on my second channel, yeah. I've got 2 separate runs on my second channel. She Who Will Feast and Offanim. Nothing yet on the updated combat. Thanks, Quantum. The Laughing King's mechanics revolve around a carried item, the tome, which causes insanity and obsession in all who possess it. It can be given and taken from agents, heroes, and rulers, and serves as the focal point of this Elder God's powers. Iastur is designed to be an Elder themed around madness, deception, and the act of playing games. The Elder itself is a part of a game that it cannot comprehend, and whilst it no longer remembers itself, it retains its capering disposition and alien nature. It is destined to be a designed to be a forgiving elder that offers an easier game with a number of abilities that should mitigate potential mistakes a new player might make. Yeah, the Broken Creator's artwork is amazing. Terminal Serenity. I'll be honest, I forgot about the second channel. I wonder how many characters have been named after me that I've missed because of that. At least a couple. Right. I love the artwork of the Mad King, honestly. Okay. Let us go. Okay, Iastur's mechanics revolve around the Laughing Tome. This will first be held by the supplicant, Iastur's first worshipper, beneficiary, and victim. The book turns any person, be they ruler or hero, insane as they read its pages, other than agents already under your control. The tome passes between agent and hero, harming both you and they in turn. First, it must be either placed in a location to drive the population and ruler insane by increasing the madness modifier of the location, or directly given to a character by either raiding a ruler's vault or by gaining access to a hero's personal items. Once sent out, it will increase the insanity until a hero is able to bind it. Once bound, the hero can use it against Iastur at any library. Kill them, steal it back, or endure their attack. After this, it will become available to you once again. Reverse mugging! Oh yeah, I strongly believe that this is heavily King in Yellow coded. Powers. Iastur regains power far more quickly while the book is being read by mortal eyes, and so deploying it as frequently as possible is highly useful. Iastur's powers revolve around mind games, and has the ability to alter AI preferences. Now that's going to be a big part of what we do. This can be useful to reduce the aggression of a hero to avoid them attacking your forces, or make them sufficiently aggressive to act on the paranoid thoughts the insanity has inflicted on them. Victory and defeat. As Iastur awakens, he will be able to send out waves of madness to drive humans in an ever-expanding region around the tomb insane, allowing you to win the game by collapsing humanity's sanity worldwide. Okay. Right, world size, we're just going to leave that at what it is. The game difficulty will naturally change as the world size changes due to humanity having more heroes to oppose you and more territory for you to conquer. Smaller maps will be easier. We'll just leave it at default. Game seed. There we go. We'll be playing on... I think we'll play on normal because it's been a while. However, game difficulty will increase complexity of challenges, slowing your agents as well as decreasing the power gain rate at experience while boosting heroes. We'll make sure it's on normal. By the way, how's the music volume balanced? Because obviously, Bloodborne's OST can get quite operatic at times. Very big energy. Little out here, but still under you. Okay. I will adjust it ever so slightly down then. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Bit loud when it goes full ham, but fine otherwise. Yeah. Also, Elof Heater, thank you ever so much for the 19 months. 7.5 years. Wow. Thank you very, very much for your support. Right, advanced options. Let's have a look. Turn limit. If on, the game will end in defeat when your god reaches its turn limit, as seen in the top right. We're going to leave that on because it's default. Orcs will spawn to harass and invade human nations. Deep ones, if on, deep one cults will automatically appear in coastal regions. Elves on, elves will appear in game, leaving all of those as they are. Alliances. The alliance will rise up in the late game to oppose you. They can be set to resist internal threat, no shadow infiltration, disable or left as normal. I'm gonna say I'm honestly not sure what normal is here. Do we know what? We do have dwarves, don't worry. That's part of the DLC, so it's not... By having the DLC active, dwarves are an automatic. Elves are optional, dwarves are not. I'm fairly certain... Is this the default? I honestly don't know. I think Vigilant should be default, so I'm not sure why it was on Humanity is Vulnerable, but we'll go with that. Oh my, I was thinking about this game just yesterday. What a coincidence. Nice game. I finished with the Worm God. Oh, nice. Thorven, that's actually pretty cool. I don't think I finished with the Worm God yet. Unless you mean She Who Will Feast, in which case, yes, I did. But if you mean like, oh, well, okay. Well, I guess the tentacle blob thing isn't a worm, even though its tentacles kind of slither and sneak and stalk the tunnels. So if you mean She Who Will Feast, yeah, I've played... That was the first character that I played it with, actually. All right, next. Narrative elements. Use blacks... No, that's fine. Edge of turn and movement event. Map generate shuffle random seed. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Let's not play with that. Holy orders. Enable holy orders. Orders dominate every human location. Created when the map is generated will follow a holy order or limited options. Holy orders only have a random subset of the possible tenants. I kind of like the idea of this, that each holy order will just, like, depending on the holy order, they might be very different. So we would probably want to pick which holy order we want to infiltrate based on the possible tenants that they would have access to. I don't know. What do you think, chat? For those of you who understand the game a little bit better than I do, for example, because I've not really played around with these, this sounds like it would be a more roguelike experience because the game would be different. But it might be quite broken as well. So if anyone has knowledge on this, please do speak up now. Sure, Brithnorth, if you can wiki walk, sure. Thank you. What do I think, says Periapsis? As little as possible, if I can get away with it. Fair. Limited, with 5 witches. Is that based on actually any knowledge, Quantum Reading, or are you just throwing things out there? Because you said that with confidence. No knowledge whatsoever. Fair. I like that. Well played. I think we'll keep it to 3 witches covens, though. We'll just leave it at 3. Wiki is still based in the non-existent. Okay. Then I'm going to turn around. We're going to see how it goes. Conclaves. The Chosen One will call conclaves to access powerful abilities. Magical arms race. Humans, mages will be motivated to keep up with your mage's progress. Military escorts. Rulers can deploy armies to assist heroes hunting down your agents. Chosen One respawns. Recommended. The game is balanced around always having a Chosen One. That is fair. World Panic determines humanity's response. Awareness will increase as the Chosen One can use panic to warn rulers and heroes. Gods set minimum. Default, the Awakening God causes ever-increasing world panic. I think we'll just keep that one then. Okay, let's begin. Okay, select agents and other units by left-clicking, right-click to move. Blah, that's fine. Dismiss. Okay. Tags are concepts of an NPC. Okay, oh my lord, so many. All right, let's zoom all the way out. This is our world. We have started on this continent over here. A larger landmass over there. No small islands besides. Good to see. What is the underground like right now? Much the same. Underground oceans. No dwarvish settlements on this side. There's only one, really. Right down here. One dwarvish nation. Right in the bottom right corner. Fair enough. Okay. Looking over here, we've got 1... 2 areas. I think we have spawned. These are elves. Human nation down here. That's unfortunate. We're right next to a bunch of elves. That's gonna be rough because they are a bit more resistant to our maddening effects and shadowing. So having the tomb spawn next to them is a bit of a pain, but that's okay. Have we got any orcs around? Not on this continent at the very least. Got a coven just down there. We'll have a look at more of these in the varying styles, but I'm just trying to gather what information I can at a glance. Decent spread of nations over here. Men and elves, I think. No. Oh, no, yeah, there they are. Elves right there. So these are elves. The nations of man kind of wrapping around the elvish cities there. We've got orcs up top. 2 separate camps, it seems. Have we got any other orc strongholds? No, we've got a lot of elves. Oh yeah, they're actually a big orcish area. That might be something that we can use to our advantage. And a nice big group of orcs like this, we'd be able to build several strongholds and start really making them a problem for the humans, so that they are focused on dealing with our and the elves, to be honest, considering big elf population though. Okay. Right, so there's a bunch of view modifiers we can do. So here's the nations. I would like to say this is probably the biggest nation, but this is the second biggest. Certainly on the surface they are. Kingdom of Nlingu and Queendom of Wushong. I would say they're the biggest, with... There's only really one place over here. That's the Kingdom of... What's it called? Irite. Okay. And then underground, it'll be very different. There's just a single dwarvish kingdom down there. Profile we don't need to look at. There'll be no awareness. Heroes, quite a few heroes around the map. Holy orders, we can see the holy orders that exist. 1, 2, 3, by the looks of it. Possibly 4? Four, I think. Alright. Oh, actually, no, sorry, it says over here. What? How silly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Oh, of course, the witches' covens. Of course. There are 3 witches' covens. So there are 3 main groups. Population-wise, got some big populations over here. The larger cities, though, massive cities. The humans over here and the elves up here. No prophecies yet, I don't think. Let's have a look at items for sale. Ooh, 8 concealed daggers. That's impressive. That's very impressive. Okay. Those are things we're going to want to get as quickly as we can because they're extremely good. We can actually see the varying items. Like if we go in here and have a look at modifiers. Oh. No? Can I not click on it? Infiltration. No, go away. There we go. I want to see what you had for sale. So, we've got these boots here. Boots of the Scholar. The wearer of these boots gains insight from their travels. They level up fast. It's quite a nice one. But what we can do is we can have a look around at all of the items for sale in the world and find the best stuff. We've got the flintlock pistol over here. There've got quite a few of them, actually. There's just +1 attack. Nothing really special, if I'm honest. The unassuming hood. Because you want to have a kind of a plan of attack, in a way. An idea of where you're going and what you're going to be doing when you get there. The unassuming hood gives -5 menace, which is actually quite nice. This hood makes one appear like a standard traveler, not a major threat. They've also got the Boots of Wealth, which just give you gold every time you move. So certain characters it would be much better for than others. If you have a character that's going to spend a lot of time doing a job in one place and not really moving around, then anything that is based on movement, obviously, not amazing. And healing items are just great for combat characters in particular. Basic axe is not going to be anything of real note, if I'm honest. It just does some extra damage. It just increases attack by +1, or rather increases might, which for all intents and purposes is attack. The forgettable ring. Oh, really? Oh, that's available in a couple of locations, to be fair. Forgettable ring. Oh. Where are we? There we go. This reduces profile. So there are 2 really important stats for your characters that are going to go up and down throughout the game. You're going to be trying to balance them, though their minimum is going to keep rising over time. And there's kind of mechanics behind that I will explain later. But profile is how easy it is to spot someone, and menace is how much people are going to take notice of them if they've spotted them. Think of it like that. So someone with high profile but low menace, people will know where they are from halfway across the world. They just don't care. Someone with extremely high menace but extremely low profile, well, if anyone knew where they were, they would probably send an army to kill them. It's just no one knows where they are. It's only when the 2 of them start rising that you really get trouble. But, you know, it can be a bit all over the place with that. All right, over here we've got warding. which is a specific ability that enemies can set up to protect their cities. And that will have warding, which will prevent shadow seeping in and robbing the populace of hope. But having this will reduce warding in the city that it's in. We've also got the concealed dagger. This is +1 intrigue and +1 might. Might is, as you might imagine, just raw physical power. Kind of think of it like stat in like tabletop systems. You don't specifically have strength and charisma, but you've got might and you've got intrigue, and these, broadly speaking, do certain things. You've got might, which affects your combat prowess and certain things which rely on just kind of raw power, whether that be power of intimidation, presence, kind of thing, or whether it be literally smashing down a door. You've got intrigue, which is your ability to kind of move unseen and to navigate kind of diplomatic channels in a more cloak and daggery style. You've got, as I recall, leadership, which is how many minions you can have, and lore, which is how good you are with like more esoteric occult stuff like magic. And then there's a shield in a couple of locations. But honestly, the big one for us is the fact that there are 8 concealed daggers in the world. We pretty much want to give as many of them as we can to every one of our agents that we can. And that just gives 1 defense. So as you can see, the daggers by themselves are just so much better than pretty much anything else. They cost 35 gold, more or less the same as anything else you can buy it. But they give intrigue and might, which is just glorious. Makes your character more of a threat. If someone, like if they had high menace and someone was like, I should probably deal with them having a lot of might makes someone like, but they'll deal with me, which is more likely. I'm going to need to get some backup before I try. It can be very, very useful. All right, so that is the map views. We've now got a good idea of the world. Right, so our supplicant who started the tomb. Let's go and say hello to them. The supplicant, who shall be the renamed. Rename. But to what name? Who is the first faithful of our cult? Let's find out. Hidden daggers? What is this? Assassin's Creed? Assassin's Creed wishes they were as cool as this game. Electroraptor. You are the first to heed the call. So, this means that presently they're holding the Laughing Tome. The Chosen One, oh, it's actually really close by, god damn it. Is that you? No, who is the Chosen One? Wayfinder. Kanzan has something. Nope. Oh, it'll be you then, I guess? Yeah. Okay. So, one of the things that it was talking... Oh, you've got a bunch of bears. One of the things that it was talking about is we can affect what people want to do. Every character in this world, every ruler, every heir, every hero has something that they are thinking of doing. That one character over here, this is their list of priorities in order, all the way up. And if you hover over them, you can find out what's affecting their desire or lack thereof to do that thing. So, for example, they've got 0 motivation to recruit a werebear. You'd have to dismiss an elven werebear, so that's minus 105, but 105 would gain an elven werebear. They're like, so, on one hand, I'd have to say goodbye to one of my glorious werebears, but on the other hand, I would get a glorious werebear. it's very black and white, like, you know, lights and clockwork kind of AI, but that's part of the kind of board game feel of this game, is everything's explained. So I can see what's affecting their desire to do it. There's no positive, there's no negative tags. They want to reduce tensions. So there's 25 men is somewhere. They want to reduce it here. So elves are powerful but brittle, able to resist shadow, disease, and stronger in battle, but dependent on ritual and vulnerable to human xenophobia. Their society requires their rule to be appointed by a wayfinder. Rulers to be appointed by a wayfinder, and their heroes can only be created by a sovereign. If they lose both, therefore, they will fall into crisis for years, unable to maintain secession. Humanity can also be turned against them by religious or tenant or political action. Their crystal smiths make protective crystals that defend against shadow, but can fall into insanity if the arcane secrets they depend on are turned by your agents into dangerous knowledge. There's lots of things we can do, but even the city itself has a lot of modifiers. So if we have a look at the city, it's got elven arrogance right now. It's a geomantic locus, so there's like a powerful magic going on here. If I have a look at quests, these are the things that could be done here by me or the enemy, depending on the situation. Well, sorry, these are the challenges. These are the things that can be done, rather. Challenge available to good. Oh, right, that's right. Yeah, challenges available to my people. Quests are available to the enemy. So these are the things that enemies are able to do. National actions, local actions. There's all sorts of things going on. If I click on this, I can see the ruler here is Queen Ouvriers Dessert. I can click on this is what the queen would like to do, and all of these things are going to be based on their personality, the things they like, the things they dislike. I can have a look at their family tree. There is so much going on in this game. If you are the sort of person who would like to really pore over a game and make take a turn every hour by just being absolutely certain about all of you've crossed all the T's and dotted the I's, and you're keeping track of all of this kind of this is a game that you can do that, or you can just play it like just a strategy game. Now, I know I haven't done much in this turn yet. That's because I'm aware that a lot of people in chat right now don't know much about the game, so I'm gonna try and cover a bunch of things and explain the whys of what I'm doing, not just do them. But as we go, the turns are going to start speeding up. Right, so that's the main thing looking through here. There are a couple more things that we want to do. I'm going to want to check out the Holy Orders, but that's something that we'll come to in a bit. If we have a look at our supplicant right now, Electoraptor, they can drop their a cache, create an item cache, and open the trade screen. We don't have anything to put in it. I can place the tome here. We wouldn't want to. Places the Laughing King's tome here to begin spreading madness to the location. This location is my tomb. It's already as mad and as shadowed as it's ever going to be. It will cause an increase of 3 points of madness per turn while present. When placed, it will remain until a hero binds it, at which point you must either steal it back or allow them to use it against you and your agents. Ideally, that's not what we're going to do. I can summon the tome here. Summon the Laughing King tome from anywhere. If it is in... anywhere it is in... if it is in the ether or lost, allows you to add it to the unit's inventory. Note this summoning will fail if a character has it in their possession. If a character holds it, you can steal it back or wait for it to drive them insane if it is not bound. As you can imagine, a lot of this is going to be about me trying to slip it into people's inventories, drive them insane, or just put it in a location, drive the entire location insane. Every area has different modifiers that affect that. Like there's political agitation over here, for example. Its current level is 33% and it's decreasing by 1% per turn. If I look down over here, the city of Rominant, The City of Debt down here. There's tunnels there. There's an arcane secret. They've got political agitation. They've got unrest. There's so much that goes on. And we can see a lot of stuff over on this side. I'm not going to go into exacting detail on everything because that would mean the first turn would just be one stream in of itself. But I'm just drawing attention to some of the most important stuff. For location, security is probably the most important thing you're ever going to look at, because that tells you how hard it is going to be to conduct any missions in that location. We are absolutely going to want to start spreading out our abilities around the world. Hey, MIDL, how you doing? And Dutrius, how you doing, month? Mate, thank you so much for the 140 months. I said months and mate at the same time. Tier 3 sub there. Thank you so much. Good morning, Aavak. I just woke up and have the only one thing that needs saying. Our Doom cult great. Well, I mean, doom is a strong word. Look, basically, we could take the madness in the direction of, like, you know, uncontrollable giggles. Maybe we're just we're a cult of joy. The sort of joy that makes you breathless until you stop trying to breathe altogether. Doom giggles. But there's lots of stuff that we can do down here. Here's the stats I was talking about. Might, combat capability, lore, their kind of knowledge and arcane abilities. Intrigue is their, this would affect things like sneaking into a town, influencing rulers, planting sleeper agents. Command is how many allies they can control. Right. So, there's the laughing tone. We've got a level up, so let's go ahead and take that. Now, I can take the levels can either just straight up increase a stat or can give us special abilities. So the supplicant, on the first level, can be protector of the tome. Increases might and defense by 2 while the laughing tome is carried. That would be good. The maddening tongues, when in a human settlement, increase madness by 1 per turn. Or favorite toy. Once per game, if the supplicant dies, they are returned to the Elder Tomb with their menace and profile reset to their minimums. Definitely maddening tongues. Everywhere the supplicant goes, I want them to slowly drive the people in that location insane. And there's a lot about insanity. The tiles will get darker the more shadow, the more hope I've drained from the world. And this will spread out slowly in waves from this tomb and from anywhere that is fully enshadowed. But I can help it. I can make places more susceptible to that effect. I can have another agent and I will absolutely be taking one. Also, I've got powers that I can use. You know what? I haven't actually seen the powers of Iastur, so let's check that out. Let's have a look. Let's see what this game brings. Everything is part of the game. Nothing exists which isn't to be moved as a piece on an infinitely complex board designed by a lunatic elder god. Boost the infiltration in selected locations. Cost increases when your god breaks seals. Okay. That sounds quite good. Casting it here would actually be quite nice. Basically, at certain levels of infiltration, your people have a better time at that location. But locations will have multiple places that you can crack, and to get to the city palace, which gives you access to the ruler, generally you've got to have infiltrated all of the part up to the city palace. But for example, the Abbey of Scent, this is just one place. Holy sites are fortresses against shadow. They grant a set of quests to heroes which allow them to more easily be defended against the spread of shadow and to cleanse themselves of shadow if they are becoming corrupted. Oh, I mean, that might not be a terrible one to try and get in there and start getting a bunch of shadow, because you can do all kinds of things like desecrate holy sites, which makes them like just wells of shadow spilling out into the world. This ruler likes cooperation though. Let's have a look at your family. Not a big family. So you're a part of it. Interesting. So it's not a very large nation, so there's probably a lot of nepotism at the top there. Hey, White Hammer, how are you doing, mate? Corrupting the elves will definitely be something that we're going to want to try and work at. Now, one of the other things that we want to do is check out the holy orders, and this one's going to be an important one. First and foremost, we'll start with the witches. Which one is closest to us? This one. Holy orders' behaviors are determined by the tenets of their faith. Humanity and the elder powers can influence these by taking over locations of faith or by performing challenges. When your influence is full, you may influence a tenant to cause the holy order to take up a given behavior or to stop it. The tenets on this page are the structural ones. Other than corruption, they are not inherently beneficial to either human or elder powers, but rather affect the type of religion the holy order is. Alignment is special in that it must be negative for you to cause dark behaviors in the holy order. Preaching causes the faith to spread to human settlements, which is needed for many of the non-structural tenets to be performed. Temples are special buildings created by the order, which can have powerful effects if certain tenets are in effect. Preaching causes the faith to grow, but smaller faiths are easier to influence. So, preachers, dogmatic, temple builders, is one worshipper, one acolyte. Currently, the alignment is neither in favor of humanity or in favor of the elder gods. Moral tenets, we can have all sorts of things over here. These are the moral tenets of this holy order. They determine which types of worship and religious behavior the order will engage in and how its temples will affect the settlements they are in. You cannot influence a tenant to be more negative, towards the elder powers than the alignment tenant's current stats. So that's why alignment is so important. So, for example, Elder Powers +1, this is already actually in our favor. Allows dark worship for your agents at temples. If Elder influence exceeds 1, acolytes will spread shadow from temples via dark worship. So that's already kind of good for us. Crusaders of Faith. The members of this faith will rally the citizens of the faithful settlements to join and support their militaries, increasing military fervor. Awareness of elder powers. Acolytes of this faith will either spread awareness or remove it if under elder influence. That would be a good one. Prophets of Doom. Acolytes and temples of this will spread madness. That's going to be huge for us. Xenophobic condemnation. If under elder influence, if an agent or hero performs a challenge which gains menace in a location which with a ruler of this faith of a different species, the ruler will dislike the agent's species. So this is a way for seeding more and more hostility throughout the world, which will work to our advantage because they'll be too busy doing other things. Hey, Ovania. Welcome on in. Got maddening insight. Rulers of this faith will lose 1 point of sanity while a non-agent mage is learning an arcane secret, as will the mage. Arbomancy. Acolytes of this faith will perform arbomancy at their temples, restoring and improving the habitability of nearby areas, which is actually kind of useful, even for us. Human sacrifice. Covens of this holy order will produce death for use by agents who have mastered death magic at a rate of 1.5 per turn per level of the tenant. Fair. And you've got budget stuff. They gain gold in certain ways, and this would affect how they try to do that. Or at least I think that's what we get here. Holy orders will gain gold from their agents, termed acolytes, from rulers in locations they have spread the faith to, and from donations. Donations go into the reserve and are paid out slowly. Holy orders spread their income between their different expenses. They can recruit more acolytes. Oh, that's right. Yeah. They build it up and then they can get more people. Then prophecy. Now, these are the important. This is the really important one. Holy orders can have prophecies about significant religious figures who will lead them through the times of need. These have details about how to recognize their prophet when they appear. This screen lists how many candidates, heroes, acolytes, and agents have made it to each step in the prophecy. You must meet the requirements of the earlier details to be considered a candidate for later ones. If an agent meets all requirements, they will be received as a prophet of this holy order and give a major boost to influence gained per turn. Basically, having our agents considered prophets of the religions is important, and making sure that any human prophets are not around for too long. So for the example, this one wants someone from the east who comes from a city, who's explored an ancient ruin and is wise. Noted. Let's have a look at the others. That's the next closest one. Mostly I want to check out prophecy for now. From the west, from a coast, strong and powerful, so might +4, mastery of magic. Okay. Then we've got this coven. From the south, from a holy site, explored an ancient ruin and is a mastery of magic. Now, magic is an interesting one. Are there any people in chat right now who have played, let me look up the name of that game. High Fleet. Are there any High Fleet appreciators in chat right now? Also, Dr. Slime, thank you ever so much for the 63 months, mate. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Okay, not many people in chat right now seem to be aware of High Fleet. Okay, well, the analogy I was going to make is with the nukes in High Fleet, but to put it simply, once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it again. The human mages are happy enough not to mess around with magic until we do. If we start the magical arms race, they will start competing in it, and they might get up there very quickly. The same way in High Fleet, they'll generally not use nukes until you do, but once you have, they won't stop. So magic is an interesting one. I'm not really looking to be a prophet of someone with magic. And generally speaking, as long as I don't make a mage, neither will the humans. And so they won't really get mages. Now, you can see down here, here's the influence. Right now, neither I nor the humans are gaining any influence, which is good. Also, Crusader Healers, Candle Circles, Prophets of Doom, Explore the Darkness, Maddening Insight. There's some okay ones here, but not all of them do have that. And honestly, this is kind of cool, because this is not what I'm used to. Like, this one does have Dark Worship, which is good. You have, Abyssal Faith, so they can make people like Deep Ones. They can remove wards. This one in particular is actually quite nice. Then we had this one. Let's have a look at your tenants. Another Dark Worship, which is good. Charitable Works. I mean, that's not bad. Music of Outer Spheres and Health. Unearthly music plays throughout the night. Temples and human settlements will generate power and madness, but gain menace. That's not great, because you don't want the covens to gain menace, because eventually the humans will decide to send an army to wipe out the witches. But, you know, it is a thing. But this one doesn't have darkness, but they do have Prophets of Doom and Maddening Insights. I mean, Prophets of Doom isn't a bad one. And Candle Circle is also kind of cool. Their Prophecy. From the south... Oh, this currently includes Electroraptor. From a city, Master of Magic... And why? Actually, there are already 4 candidates right now. Interesting. Oh, I guess they've got a degree. Oh, wait. I think with magic, it only becomes a problem if you start using arcane secrets to raise your magical power. You can be someone with magical insight, but you can never really be a good, like, okay. So you might have an understanding of death or blood or geomancy, but you're not a master geomancer. The moment you start becoming better at magic, beyond I simply know that magic exists, then they will start also becoming better, and that's where it gets very, very out of place. Or not out of place, but very hard to manage. Prophecy from the north, from a city, commanded an army, strong and powerful. Let's have a look at your moral tenets. Crusaders, funerary rites, awareness of elder powers, dark worship, music from outer spheres. Oh, actually, yeah, not a bad one. This one in particular is quite a good one. It would have to be from the north. And then from the east, from a city, wise, strong, and powerful. I dislike that a lot. They will spread awareness as they move around. I kind of need to curb that as quickly as we can. Here's Silent Psychopath. All right. Well. See, I'm to the west of this place. So that already means I will never be their prophet. This one will work, though. Oh, that was Mastery of Magic. Oh, right, because none of them have got any kind of Mastery of Magic, I see. I'm going to need to pick one of these that I'm going to work with and try and control. I might just pick this one because it's so close to my tomb initially that it'll create a good stronghold, but I do need to get out into the rest of the world as well. So we will need to be moving out there relatively soon. Right now, I am a candidate for at least one, though. That is good. So this is how I can see the profits. So you. So I'm guessing that these are ones from the west. Okay. Trade routes are also good. There's one other thing that I wanted to find. I want... Where is it? Points of interest finder. Have we got any deep ones? Oh, we don't. That's a shame. There are currently no deep ones in the world. Unfortunate. I'm not sure if that means we can ever get deep ones as a consequence. I wonder if we can ever get deep one cults. Deep one cults are exactly what you think. Fishes. I'm not sure if we can ever get deep ones if there are none on the map when it spawns. All right. So we've got... You are potentially a prophet for a couple of religions. I think I'm going to mostly want to try and court the covens first. This is in Orkland, so not necessarily the best for me. It only has a small connection with the human lands, and this one, unfortunately, is surrounded by elves. We have not... Oh, wait. Are these elvish? No, they're not. Okay, never mind. You are simply an elven champion, I think. Yeah, fair enough. I would very much like... Yeah, I thought they were an elven champion, but maybe I'm wrong about that. They've definitely got elvish minions. I wasn't aware that you could have elven champions of different areas. Oh, Mydial says, during the other playthrough, you noticed that on tiles with docks, you could summon a deep one when fully infiltrated. Ah, thank you very much for remembering, because I most certainly did not. Okay. Oh, you're an elvish child of a human king. Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that could happen. Learn something new. Okay, this is not a bad one though, because that then is in amongst a lot of areas. So what was it that your holy order wanted? For prophecy, we've already got it. From the coast, so I'm going to need someone from the coast. Strong and powerful, might greater than 4, and then a master of magic as well. So a coastal city from the west. Fair enough. The other thing that I should be aware of as well is that, generally speaking, I kind of want... It pays to have someone of a family in one of the nations that I'll probably end up going to war with. As that means, so I might want to pop them here. When that nation inevitably turns, that person won't inherently be against them. Yeah, it looks like all of this is part of the same nation, so that's actually not too bad, I think. Oh no, so these are 2 separate ones. Okay. Well, I could always have someone from this city then. Right, well, create agent. We've got a couple of options. We want someone who can be useful to us right now in a more utilitarian way rather than just straight up going and causing problems. So let's have a look. The cursed, not for us. Cursed for sins of others. The cursed has been exiled from human culture and seen how hollow and cruel their claims of justice and fairness are. She serves out of bitterness and desire for revenge against those who wronged her. Her gaze can cripple a hero, weakening their combat ability and making them easy prey. She may lack the potent magical powers of some agents, but can be useful for harassing heroes by attacking or to interrupt them, then escaping unharmed. The thing about these are unique agents. When they die, they're dead. That's it. These are generic agents. If they die, I can just recruit another one. So you've got your Hierophant, most religious, promise hope, an afterlife worth having, and a set of virtues to cling to, regardless of how hypocritical their worshippers might be. The dark cult seems to forgo these, clinging instead to madness and ecstatic despair. A glee at seeing the world end without any thought as to what might come after. So they've got 3 intrigue, 3 command. We've got the Warlock, 3 law, so mostly for mages. A rogue mage trained in the magical arts. You may select any magical school. Be aware having magic users will begin a magical arms race with the human mages, who will try to gain skills to stay ahead of their magical rivals. For the warlord, orcs respect strength but also wisdom in their own fashion. The orcish warlord is not a simple brute hacking at his enemies, but a skilled tactician and talented campaign planner, understanding the needs of an army on the march. High command, high might. Probably none of these right now. We may as well grab one of the others. The Seeker is its own thing. Caused to walk an insane path, the Seeker will know no reward, only death at the end of his journey. For reasons even he cannot say, he is driven to awaken a sleeping abomination and set it against the world. Basically, activate a very powerful creature. We've got the Exile. Cast out from their home for transgressing against nature, those who are exiled from the elvish kingdoms often descend under the earth, where they can practice their dark arts in seclusion. Forced underground, the exile emerges from the tunnels to steal victims, which she can then sacrifice in her underground lair to harm the surface dwellers. She is hard to detect, but the sacrifices will leave a trail of evidence heroes will eventually find. The aristocrat. She's got 3 in intrigue and 3 in command, whereas this one's 3 law, 3 intrigue, and 2 might. All the law, or decent intrigue. The aristocrat is command and intrigue. So much harm can be done with a gift, if only if one knows where to give it and to whom to give it to. Those who do not receive the gift will turn envious, especially if desperate, as long as the blame can be placed on those not receiving the gift, say by organizing a vote. The gift giver remains blameless. The aristocrat specializes in causing wide-scale political discord, starting civil wars or international incidents. She requires you to set up crises like plagues or famines, which she will help fix, but in so doing, cause high-ranking nobles to hate each other. The dissident allows political change to be undertaken. They can change the heir to a nation, cause civil war, and their traits let them increase unrest or decrease security in areas which are experiencing political turmoil already. Not really what we're going for. Harvester is just raw combat. Also, I love the power trait for the Harvester. Good God. Found stalking battlefields. The Harvester is a terrifying being said to pursue victims across continents, screeching unearthly howls which drive those who hear it into sin or madness. They can flee for a while, but he always gives chase, until eventually they must rest and fall victim to his supernatural assault. The Harvester has access to passive howl traits, which require the Harvester to consume human soul modifiers, so no use to bring the Harvester out until wars have started, basically. They've got the Courtier. There are always those who hate those with power, not out of sense of equality, but out of some personal issue they have obsessed over until their petty issues become a maddening desire to exact personal revenge. At home in the halls of power, the courtier is a manipulator of people, specializing in interpersonal relationships. They are able to turn individuals against one another, turning a misplaced handkerchief into a lethal battle between 2 heroes or a devastating civil war. The trickster. Honestly, for me, it's the trickster or the courtier I'm feeling the most. The harvester is great for insanity, but there's no point in having the harvester on the map if there's no human souls yet. Some spirit of mischief and chaos has overtaken this woman, and from an early age she seemed to delight in spreading confusion and disarray. Her life as a petty thief, snake oil saleswoman, and counterfeiter. Is it counterfeiter? Counterfeiter, probably. Makes her a weak but flexible tool for the elder powers if they wish to take control of her mind. The trickster has a varied toolkit to hinder and confuse heroes. She can use personal items stolen from heroes to trick investigators into blaming those heroes instead of your agents, shifting menace game to them instead. She can also sell ruined potions of healing, which will fail when a hero engages in battle, poisoning them slightly instead of healing. Her monkey companion, Mr. Edgar, also gives a few beneficial traits depending on how he is used. That's amazing. Mr. Edgar, he almost wins it by himself. The courtier and Mr. Edgar together are quite powerful. Right, what was your... Prophecy again? Might. So West Coast might. Yeah, I think a Master of Magics though is kind of annoying. It's going to be hard to get. What are the other holy orders? Were there any others that would also benefit from being over there, I wonder? For you, East City, law, strong and powerful. North City, command an army, strong and powerful. Both of those would be okay. And South City, mastery of magic, wise. Yeah, we're not getting that one. Technically, one of these up here would still be north. But it would definitely not be east. So if I go over here, I am possibly going to be able to grab a profit from here. I'm going to say this is in the north part of the map. Okay. So we'll go for a coastal town. Let's have a look at the populations. This one's the better town to go for, I feel. Sure. International relations. What's their ruler like? Okay, not too much. We've got a temple here. Library, docks, city palace. And it might be good. Alright, we'll cast an agent here and it's going to be the trickster in this city. Right, attack monkey. When this trait is first acquired, gain a monkey minion named Mr. Edgar who can steal items in combat. Pickpocket primate. How many people in chat does this describe? Are you a pickpocket primate, chat? When this unit moves into a location with a hero with gold, steal up to 15. Adorable monkey. When this trait is first acquired, the two nearest heroes without any opinion on the agent will gain a liking towards the agent. I think it's going to be pickpocket primate, though. Only when playing Elder Scrolls. Only when playing Elder Scrolls? You sure about that? Okay. We're almost through our first turn. Again, the first turn was going to be by far the longest because I have so much to explain about this game. It's such a dense game. And I realize that there's always a risk there of me over-explaining and under-demonstrating, but it's just a very dense game, unfortunately. It's going to be the way it goes. Barias, congratulations. Barias and Mr. Edgar, welcome. Okay, you've started with 40 gold. It's very nice. Does this place have things that you wanted? No, I don't think so anyway. Right, but with that, we should now be able to see if I bring up the Holy Orders again, which is F6. Close that down. Dunk. That. Are you? Yes. Yes. Command an army is going to be a difficult one. And as for you... Yep. There we go. Perfect. I just need to get a might above 4. And then mastery of magic of some sort. Alright. That was an important choice. We've got a couple of things to do now, but the main steps are in place. Okay, so I need to get out and I need to start intriguing up the world, but I've also got to decide who am I going to give this book to. One of the things to understand about madness is insanity is more or less as you might imagine it would be. It drives people insane and they start doing random stuff. They start being, paranoid and conspiratorial. They start interrupting agents. They're pulling them into just wild, fanciful stories and delaying their turns. They start doing things that are not in the best interest of their people. It's very, very powerful. But there is a degree of... you have to be certain how you're going to make use of it. Where's the capital city here? Is that here? I think this might be it. Oh, that's one of the witches. Never mind. Yeah, here's the king. Well, it makes no sense not to try and drive the king insane. However, we do have a... The chosen one is right next to us, which kind of sucks. Alright, want to get you down here. That's where you need to go. Then we're going to drop off the laughing tome. Every place you move through is going to get a little bit insane as a consequence of you moving through there. It'll increase very slowly, but it'll happen. Now, we've got a witch over here. Have we got any heroes around with gold? Do any of you have gold? Wow, you're all shockingly poor. That's disgusting. How dare you? All right. Too high of a security there. One way to take places is to lower their security. So this is a city. This is a city. This is an abbey and has lower security as a consequence. Security low. One way of taking a place's security down, oh, that's got a security of 10, is to infiltrate the places around it and then affect them. So, for example, we've got a couple of low security areas here around this one city. Now, the issue is, well, actually, no, that would be okay because this coven would be affecting it. The thing that would occur is if you go to a farming community, knock that out. Go to a fortress, knock that out. The security here is increased because it's surrounded by fortresses. It's the people are well fed. If we cause a bit of a panic because food shipments stop moving in and we take out the places nearby which are supporting it, then we'll have an easier time of taking it. Infiltration represents how much your cultists have taken control of this settlement. If the location has points of interest which can be infiltrated, infiltration is the portion of these which have infiltrated so far. Infiltration challenges are harder in high security areas, but offer many useful challenges once sufficient infiltration is reached. There are things that we'd be able to do here. If we have a look at challenges, we would be able to recruit a crow, which gives us experience, which is very nice. Depending on our level of infiltration, dark worship spreads shadow out from this location, expanding the edges of the region of shadow it is in. An amount of shadow, maximum total of 150%, will be applied to the closest non-shadowed connected location, and adds 20 menace to this coven, which may result in human nations invading or destroying it. That's not something we generally want to do. But I could infiltrate the coven over here. It would take me a number of turns based on the situation. And it would increase profile and menace depending on a couple of things. I think going for the coven makes sense and then branching out from there. However, that's not the only one that we have an option for right now. We can do a couple of other things, and depending on the thing that we have infiltrated, we'll have different options as well, like libraries, centers of human learning. I think if we take a library, what is it in particular that we can do there? Like the different points of interest give us different things that we're able to work on. This might be their political gridlock, perhaps. There's also thievery that we can partake in. I would like to steal some money from someone, to be fair. And we would want to have a look for someone with a nice big fat treasury for us to do that at. But also somewhere where we realistically be able to achieve it. In Shadowmont, this is a big part of how we get our victory points. Enshadowment represents how much your corruption has spread across the settlement, bringing it under your absolute control. Shadow can be spread between locations and will spread between a ruler and their settlement. So a corrupt settlement will infect a noble ruler, or a corrupt ruler can enshadow a pure settlement. Heroes gain shadow by resting in enshadowed locations, so enshadowing a hero's home location is a good way to slowly add shadow to them. Yeah, I think we're just going to move into this tile and start enshadowing it. We've got 4 intrigue. Though, actually, that being said, where were those daggers? Oh, there's one just down there. Okay, that was a bad move. In fact, there's 2. I've got enough to buy 1. That would be worth me taking the time to go get. We'll go this way, because then I can try and infiltrate this place on the way back. That'll work. That way we haven't completely wasted the move there. So we want you over there. And now we can just pass some turns. Oh, actually, one more thing. We can use our power, I suppose. Oh, that is a good one. If I can get a good in shadow somewhere, then my shadow will spread to that location faster. I'm kind of thinking maybe going for this holy site. Because then the shadow from my tomb is going to be pouring out of it very quickly. If this place is constantly getting enshadowed, it's going to keep distracting heroes to come and cleanse it of shadow. And a big part of what we do here is to distract enemy heroes. So, you know what? Sure. There we go. 100% infiltration, because it only had one site, and I infiltrated that site in one go. This is now completely controlled by us. When you go there and you're confessing your sins, you might hear the scribbling of a pencil against a piece of parchment. The monks or sisters kind of give knowing glances. Every now and then you catch them staring at you out the corner of your eye. The bowls of meat stew they eat, there's something weird about that meat. Can't quite put your finger on it. Alright. That's our first turn. And go. Iastur regains power at 50% faster rate than usual, but cannot regenerate power while the Laughing Tome is not being read. It must either be in a person's inventory, in its normal, non-bound state, or in a location in the form of the Laughing King's Tome modifier for Iastur's power to return. Very well. Hero most inclined to attack Barias is Sister blah, 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 blah. Motivation is 27? Why? You're just horrible. Why do you want to? Base reluctance. Tenant intransigent faith. Oh. Okay. Whatever, I guess. Current rate of power gain is 1% per turn. The next power will be returned at 57 turns. I need to get the book down here, basically. But the enshadowment is now being pulled across. Gain per turn is 0.8%. And as this gets enshadowed, you too will get enshadowed eventually. Right. Ending turn, there's nothing for us to do. Well, actually, let's have a look. You can really drill down to a lot of information. So the threats, events, completes training. What are you doing now then, hero? What's... you just want to rest and resupply. I'm absolutely okay with that. You can see everything that went down. People who completed doing things, what they're up to next. Let's have it like that. Enter.